Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope all of you are having an awesome week so far. Students, in this class we are looking at an IELTS listening, specifically part 3 and 4. This will be on the topics of a school project and climate change. For those of you who were in class last week, Tuesday, you did part 1 and part 2 of this listening. It was a man registering for a football match and some listening on the topic of the famous boat, the Titanic. Everybody, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that power these live classes. They have all of our listening exams, interactive courses, videos, and much, much more. Hi, Anna. Hi, Jeffrey. Excuse me. Nice to see everybody here. Hi, Fatime Goma. Welcome, Carolina, our chat moderator. Good to have you with us. Students, the academic website looks like this with the blue background. To join the premium version of the course, you just have to click this big red button that's off to my right there, and it's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We are an IDP affiliate, a British Council partner, and an IELTS test registration center. We help thousands of students every single week succeed on their IELTS exam. For the general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. It's the green background. The listening is the same in both exams. The speaking section is the same. It's the reading and the writing that are somewhat different. So again, click that big red button and you are good to go. Nazim John, thank you. Thank you, Carolina. Thank you, Fatime. Good to see so many students. It's fantastic. All right, everybody. So when you get premium access to the website, you get premium classes each week. You get 2 more live classes. I sent the Zoom links for this week's live classes yesterday. If you want to check out what those classes look like, you can take a look at this playlist. It is unlisted, so you need the link here. You need to copy paste that or click it, and then you can check out what those look like. And on the websites, you can use the discount code REACH9 for a 10% discount. The apps are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. When you purchase the course on the website, you can unlock the full app also. And the Instagram is IELTS_AEHelp or GIELTS Help. Any questions? I'm here to help. Same with my colleagues, Adrian at aehelp.com or admin at aehelp.com. I'm looking at the chat, everybody, throughout the class right there. So I'm also looking at questions there as well. Okay. All right. So the schedule coming up for the next little bit, please pay attention to this. This is September 24th, which is today, all the way to October 11th. So we have our listening right now. Tomorrow we'll have speaking here on YouTube. We will use Zoom to interact and to have students speak. So we'll use YouTube and Zoom in combination. And then for premium students on the website, we'll have task 2, writing on Thursday, and then we'll have speaking on Friday. Now there will be no classes. Let me try to make this a little bit smaller. There. There will be no classes on these days from the 28th till October 7th. I will be out of my office on those days. On the 8th, I'll be back with some reading and then speaking on the 9th. And we'll do task 1 writing on the 10th and speaking on the 11th. So that is the schedule, the roster for the next few weeks. So keep an eye out for that. And without further ado, we'll get into the listening. So just as general kind of tip, do lots of listening before the IELTS exam. And that includes listening to speaking videos like this one that we uploaded a little while ago. You can hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Watch a speaking video and improve your listening. When you're listening, make sure to visualize. So you need to see the information. Okay, we talked about this last week. So when the man was registering for football, I said visualize, imagine that you are registering for football. You can picture the football match, your teammates, the color of your jersey, and the like. Okay, we had a good question last week from Abuzbek about what kind of podcast you should listen to. And I said, make sure it's a suitable level, make sure it's interesting, and ideally it's the British accent. Okay, all of the materials on our websites, or I should say 90% of them, are using the British accent because the IELTS is using the British accent. I speak with a Canadian West Coast accent. It's great for learning. For the IELTS, you need to learn use or listen to the British accent. Okay, so having said that, everybody, another tip that I will give you right away is listen to conversations. Between 2 and 3 people, as part 3 in the listening section is often a conversation among multiple speakers. Okay, so we're going to just jump right into the speaking. This is it for today here. Okay, and we're going to get right into it. If you have a headset, use it. You get a headset in the IELTS. If you have a piece of note paper and a pencil, use it. So note paper, pencil is a good idea, just like in the real IELTS. Don't type your answers in the chat, everybody. Just put them on the note paper. It's a much better way for everyone. Okay. So for the listening, we're going to go back to our website. That's where we have our audio materials. And again, for those of you who have registered and you are premium users there, okay, when you log into your My Student account, you'll notice that you have computer-based practice exams. You've got lots of them. You got 6 computer-based practice exams. You have a full online academic course, key strategies, lessons, lots more. You've got your printable PDF workbooks, study plans, practice exams. You have lesson videos. You have lots and lots for the listening. You have 7 for the speaking. You have 125. And then this is where we're going right now. It's the audio CDs. So here we go, everybody. Get ready to listen. Answer the questions while you listen because you will not hear them a second time. We will go over the questions and answers after together, and I will give you some more strategies. Here we go, everybody.
Now turn to section 3. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 26.
Okay, let's start that one more time.
Section 3. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Listening section 3. You will hear 3 students organizing a class project. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
I just got an email from the professor saying the due date for our European History group project has been pushed back to Monday.
Great! That means we'll have the weekend to work on it.
I suppose that's good news, but I don't really want to do any homework on my weekend. I had planned to go away with my girlfriend for some relaxation this weekend.
I suppose that's understandable. Maybe we should just have it done by Friday, the original due date. That gives us today and Thursday to finish it.
We can do that, I think. I'm available tomorrow. How about we spend today planning it, assign tasks to take home with us and do tonight, and then meet tomorrow and put it all together? Does that sound right?
That works for me.
That doesn't work too well for me. My afternoon is very busy. I guess I'll just have to burn the midnight oil tonight.
What has you so tied up, Evan?
I have a basketball game after school today, and then my favourite football team plays this evening at 7. It's okay though. I'll get the work done. Let's get started on the planning.
All right. So we have to come up with a 3-panel poster about a topic in European history. I already bought the material for the poster, so we don't have to worry about that.
How much was it?
It was £3.
OK, we'll each give you £1 for the poster board.
No, don't worry about it. My dad paid for it anyway.
Sounds good to me.
Right then, since there's 3 of us, my idea was that 2 of us could take care of the writing part of the project, while one of us could look after the artwork, making the poster look smart.
I'll do the artwork. I think I'm a pretty good artist.
I'll be happy to do half the writing. What topics are we going to choose?
Well, the professor said the topic has to be an event that took place somewhere between 1400 and 1800, so we can't do either of the world wars.
That's too bad. My dad is an expert on the Second World War, and he could have helped me with my part. What are we going to do instead?
You now have some time to look at questions 27 to 30.
Okay, let's look at those questions. Always follow with the audio. So where do the students decide to put each historical figure? On the sides of the poster? In the middle? They do not include the figure. Okay, so they have this 3-board poster. It's got 3 sides.
Now listen to the rest of the discussion and answer questions 27 to 30.
I was reading my textbook the other day and I read some really interesting information on the French Revolution.
That's a really good idea.
I know. How about instead of doing a summary of the French Revolution, we write about some of the people involved instead?
Oh, I like that idea. So who are some of the important people?
Well, there's the King, Louis XVI.
Robespierre was important, I think.
Yes, he was. And of course, Napoleon Bonaparte.
We should have 4 people, so you can each write about 2 people.
How about Marie Antoinette?
OK, so we have 4 historical figures. Each of you are going to write about 2. Now we have to decide how much we're going to write. Remember, we have to fill up a 3-board poster.
That's a good point about the 3-board poster. Maybe we should do a 5th person, then we can have 2 figures on each side with 1 in the middle.
Good idea. We can make the middle one really important. We'll make that one Napoleon. As for 5th person, how about Voltaire?
Good. So how about I do the important one on Napoleon and a smaller one on Robespierre?
OK, and I'll do the other 3.
How long should each topic be?
I'd say 200 words each for the small ones and 450 for the big one on Napoleon.
I think that sounds about right. What do you think about meeting up later on?
That is the end of section 3. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Let's use that half minute. So, what day of the week does the discussion take place? They said they're going to finish it for Friday, the original due date, which gives them today and Thursday. So that gives me the answer for 21 for sure. 22 is something the project today. That's obviously what they're doing right now because it's today. They're doing that right now. So I know what that is. I can just figure it out using logic. They're going
now
to
turn
do
to
the
section
project
4.
tonight. Okay, this is my 30
Take some time
seconds,
to look
right?
at questions 31 to 40.
just so you feel the timing.
Listening
Let's
section.
pause the audio. We'll do section 4. They call it part 4 now. We'll do part 4 shortly. We'll go through the answers together. I just wanted to show you how you can use logic. Again, all the CDs, all of these materials and lessons are on the website, everybody. So you can get access there, and it's a lifetime access for like $30-40 US, depending on where you are. Okay, let's do this. So let's answer these questions together. Let's see how many you got correct. So what day of the week does the discussion take place, everybody? What day of the week is this? What do you think? If Friday is the original due date that they're going to finish it by, which gives them today and Thursday to do the work, then what day is today? It's not Tuesday, it's not Monday. Okay, so they finished by Friday. Friday is finished, right? Gives them today plus Thursday. Right? So today must be, that's right. Chico Balachi, thank you, Alexander. It must be Wednesday today, right? So the correct answer is Wednesday. Watch that N there. Is that interesting? Silent N. It's Wednesday today. Okay. All right. Make sure it's capital W there as well for days of the week. All right. Okay. Logic, everybody. Logic. So part 3, part 4 requires you to use a lot of your listening logic, listening to the overall concepts, right? Okay. Write no more than one word for each answer. So this is just a short fill in the blank. They have lots of these in the IELTS exam. The group task is in this column here, and when they complete the task is here. So they've got today, which is Wednesday. This is Wednesday night. And then they're putting the project together. It makes sense, especially if you got that one. You can figure out that one pretty quick. So what are they doing right now, today, in this discussion? It's pretty straightforward. Again, if you're using your logic, and even if you missed it in the audio, then you should still be able to figure this one out. Yeah, Roshni, very good. They're planning the project, right? Absolutely. Fatima, it's good. Just make sure your spelling is correct. If you misspell, then you'll get it wrong. Discussing is more of planning, SK, in this case. I don't think discussing is going to be enough. They discuss the project in the class. Right now, they're doing the planning. They're doing more than just discussing, right? They're planning the project. They're not just talking about it, but they're making decisions on who they should include, how many words, how their poster board should be organized. So they're planning the project, right, June Lee? Absolutely. Good work. Digital Live, thank you. All right. Alexander, no, they're handing in the project on Friday. They're handing in the project on Friday. They're not putting the project together on Friday. They're putting the project together when? They might review it on Friday, Alexander, or polish it up a bit. But they're planning the project today. They're doing the project tonight at home. So each one takes a piece with them, right? They're like kind of their meeting after school, and then they go home and they take their own pieces with them. For those of you who listen carefully, you probably remember who's doing what, right? Which student volunteered for what part of the project. Okay. And they're putting the project together tomorrow. That's right. Tomorrow. T-O-M-O-R-R-O-W. They're putting the project together tomorrow. So it's today, tonight, tomorrow. You don't really need a capital T. They're not proper nouns, but if you follow the pattern of the given answers, then you can do a capital T. It's fine. They won't take marks if you do a small t. Okay, now the next question. 24. Who paid the cost of the poster board? One of the women's father. The man's father. At first, it sounds like it was the woman, but then after a little bit of further listening, you realize that the actual answer is B. She says, "Oh, don't worry about it. My dad paid for it anyway." Right? Shaheen, it is the father of the woman. Careful not to just say father, because that's also here. It's not a distractor. So Anna, the IELTS, the goal of the IELTS is not to distract you or mislead you. It's just to give you different kinds of situations that happen in real life, right? Like we can have situations in real life where you need to listen a little bit more to get a clear idea or to find clarity, right? And that's a good point to emphasize here, everybody, that IELTS does what it can to sound natural. Okay, so keep this in mind. So IELTS listening attempts, and I say attempts because I don't think it is, but attempts to mimic real life situations, especially part 3. As in real life, it sometimes requires a bit of extra communication to establish clarity. So in some of the audio, you will need to listen carefully to identify that clarity. Okay, and that happens especially in part 3. So if you've done a few of these IELTS listening exams, then I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll be like, oh yeah, that seems to be a trend in these part 3 listenings where there's just a little bit of extra patience that's often required. Everybody knows what I'm talking about? Yeah, thumbs up. Yeah, it's you know what I'm referring to. It's not just this sample exam on our website, but if you listen to the Cambridge exams or any of the other exams that are similar, you realize that, oh yeah, in part 2, part 3, sometimes part 4, that you have to listen a little bit extra carefully to be like, oh yeah, they're not talking about that, they're talking about that, right? Predator says, yep. Anna says, yes. Right? And that's not because they're trying to trick you. It's not like, oh, IELTS is so mean, they're trying to pull a fast one. It's because that's real life, right? In real life, we don't always have clarity. And when you go and study at a English-speaking university or you go work in an English-speaking country, like any other language or country, sometimes you get into confusing situations where there's extra dialogue that's required for clarity. Okay. All right. Question 25 to 26, right? No more than 3 words. So this is a good one. 3 words and or a number. And the topic must be an event that occurred sometime between the years something and something. What was it? What are the years? So I'm trying to remember what they were. Fatima says it was 14 to 1800. I think you're right, Fatima. I think it's 14 to 1800. And you only need those 2 numbers. They have the and there, so you really only need 14 and 1800. You can do it that way. You can do it with the 2 or the dash. They won't take marks for that. So 14, 1800 or 1400 to 1800. Yeah, it's fine. And use numbers, of course. What topic would the male student like to write on but cannot due to assignment restrictions? This should just be kind of as simple as possible. Don't write it out. Hopefully everybody is familiar with this abbreviation. The simplest answer here is big W, and the Roman numeral 2. That's usually the most common way to see it. World War II. Yep. And Jello-Lidin, if you write it with small w, you'll get it wrong. This is a name. It has to be capital. Okay. That's a name. When you write a name of an event, name of a person, name of a place, it has to be capitalized. So if you write small w's, you just lost a mark that you could have saved. Generally, World War is not enough because we've had 2 of them. So the question would be which one or 2. Yeah, Anna, you can also write Second World War. It's just more complicated, right? You can also write World War II like this. WW2. That would be okay as well. Just make sure they're big letters. Okay. All right. Let's go down here. So again, this was visualization. You had to figure out where they're putting these people on this poster. So you've got this 3-board poster, and they're talking about Robespierre. They did not talk about Rousseau. And they're talking about Louis XVI and Napoleon Bonaparte. And they're talking about a very, 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 very important time or part of history, the French Revolution. It is by many considered to be the birth of modern democracy, right? So hopefully everybody's familiar with the French Revolution. It has an impact on everybody's life in the world today. And not a small impact, but a big impact. Okay, the birth of modern day democracy in Europe stems from the French Revolution, which is celebrated in France every year on July 14th. Also my birthday. Okay, so who's going in the middle of the poster? Who is in the middle? Alexander says, except non-democratic countries. Yes, Alexander. That's right. But they're still, but in some sense, Alexander, just a side note, they're still greatly affected by it because all the democratic countries are pushing for global democracy, right? So they're still affected by it. Yeah, Napoleon, very good. So Napoleon goes in the center. So Napoleon is B here, and Napoleon is the only one that goes in the center with the longer text, right? They didn't talk about Rousseau, so Rousseau is not in there. So Rousseau is not included in the poster. It's C. And then Louis XVI, the king, and Robespierre, they were important, but is not as important as Napoleon. So the king goes on the side of the poster along with Robespierre. We'll give Napoleon his characteristic little hat. And they get a little bit of a shorter text, right? And then there's 2 other people that go here as well. Voltaire and Marie Antoinette. So these ones go on the sides of the poster. So it goes A and A, like that. So the answers there were A, C, A, B. Everybody follow? And this is what the poster on the French Revolution is going to look like. Okay. There you go. Fatima says, I got 8 out of 10. That's good. 8 out of 10 is good on part 3, Fatima. How did everybody else do? What'd you get? Out of a total of 10 possible marks. If you're going for those high band scores, you should be aiming for at least 6. Yeah, and a 6 is not bad. Shaheen, 3. Back to the drawing board there. Predator's like 11. I got a bonus point because I remembered that they're also going to do the project with Voltaire and Marie Antoinette. And Marie Antoinette is often accredited with making the potato popular, I believe, in France. June Lee, 8 out of 10. Okay. Khan says, I'm a 1.5 in IELTS. Roshni says, I'm a 9. Roshni, 9 out of 10, right? Okay, students, good. So far, so good. Let's go to section 4 now. Section 4 is going to be about climate change. There's no break. They give you the 10 answers all together without any pause. So it's just a full-on lecture. Now, as soon as you hear climate change, you should be thinking about warmer temperatures, icebergs melting. I actually read an article just yesterday that scientists are scared that there's a glacier in Antarctica that's about to break off and hit the ocean. It's the size of United Kingdom, the entire island of the United Kingdom. It's that big. And they say when that hits the ocean and melts, it's going to rise or increase the sea level by 65 centimeters, which doesn't sound like a lot, but supposedly that will flood huge parts of Earth. So anyway, interesting. All right, it has a name, that glacier. You can look it up. It's in Antarctica. It's the size of the UK, and it seems to be snapping off. All right. Anyway, other than that doomsday information, let's do this listening. We're going to listen. Oh yeah, that's what they call it, the doomsday glacier. You can look it up. I just remembered. That's terrible. Shouldn't laugh. Okay, so again, everybody, this is coming from our website, aehelp.com. You get access to these audio when you have the premium course. I think we actually give this one for free for the first one, just so you can practice. Okay. So global warming, visualize. Here we go with section 4, or I should say part 4. Okay. Burkay, congrats on that. Carolina, thanks for putting the link into the chat. That's really helpful. Burkay, send me a testimonial. Here we go with listening part 4, climate change, everybody.
Now turn to section 4. Take some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listening section 4. You will hear a professor discussing climate change. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Hello class, hope you all had a good weekend. Today we will be talking about climate change. Life on Earth is going to have some adapting to do if climate scientists are correct with regard to their predictions of the Earth's rising atmospheric temperature. Humans and animals alike may have to change both their habits and habitats. The average temperature on the Earth's surface has risen by an estimated 1 degree centigrade in the last 100 years, and this trend is continuing at an ever-increasing speed. Until now, it seems that business and the environment have met as adversaries. But with the growing profitability of green products, perhaps business can play a positive role in the fight to save the environment. There is an ever-growing consensus that the cause of climate change can be linked to human action. To be more specific, environmental change is caused by the emission of greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide is chief among these. So what's so bad about things getting a little warmer, you may wonder? Weather patterns could become more extreme. The polar ice caps could melt. Sea levels could rise, and incidences of famine due to drought could also increase. On the other hand, places such as northern Canada will likely become more productive for farming and mineral and crude oil extraction. What isn't positive about the permafrost melting is that the ice is a carbon sink, and when it melts, it releases even more carbon into the atmosphere. It's clear that humans will have to change their relationship with the Earth and its resources, but the debate remains over who should be leading that change. Advocates of personal responsibility claim that small personal measures, such as changing light bulbs or riding a bike, can make a significant difference. On the other hand, governments from developing countries are calling for economic reparations to be paid by developed nations because, after all, it is the rich who cause most of the environmental damage and made money from it. The other major group that has profited from our increasing environmental degradation are corporations. Business has always been about production and consumption. The invisible hand of supply and demand has long run our economic system, and now there is an ever-growing demand for conservation. The question is, when will consumer demand be commensurate with green technological advances that allow for environmentally friendly products to actually be more profitable than those that pollute? One option to speed up this process is to have governments impose true cost taxes on every product that is sold. This would force prices to include an economic pressure to purchase or use products that will not cause further environmental degradation or carbon emissions. There is little doubt that climate change is going to cause a drastic difference to our environment and way of life. The questions that remain to be asked revolve around how to solve the climate crisis and who will pay for the restructuring of our patterns of consumption that have led to these problems. With the ever-growing desire for green consumer goods, perhaps businesses can answer some of these questions by producing environmentally sound products. Even if business has a role to play in saving the environment, it is clear that we all need to do our part.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, students, and then again, you check those answers. Now, this is a typical lecture in a university class, in like a first-year class, in a second, third, fourth-year class, third and fourth especially. Lectures are fairly different. They're much more interactive for starters, and they're much more unique, okay, or specific, the topics. But that's, if you're wondering what does a first-year ecology class sound like in a university, that could be it right there, okay, or anthropology class potentially. All right, let's find out the answers. So quite smooth, and this is, you know, when you're sitting in a in a class in university and you're taking notes, this is the kind of notes that you're doing. Okay. So climate change, background information, humanity as well as other species may have to drastically alter their what? So what's the answer here? 2 words. You just need these 2 words in your answer sheet for 31 and then you're good. Yeah, very good. Fatime, habits and habitats. So habits are basically where, or behaviors, what humans and animals do. And then habitats are the places that we live. Now, a good example is that glacier melting. We'll have to move because a lot more land will be underwater. So habits, habitats, yep, absolutely. Earth's surface temperature has risen an estimated 1 degree centigrade in the past century. It's actually going up much faster now. Businesses and environmentalists have been at odds with one another, but the emergence of something might change this. The emergence of what? Anybody catch that? Predators flabbergasted. You're surprised. Yes, it is green products. Very good. Predator. Very good, Sandeep. Green products. What's an example of a green product? Anybody? Example of a green product would be, well, electric cars are debated. Solar panels, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's a green product. Paper bags. Anna says apples. Apples is always a good answer. Okay, solar panel, biodegradable things, Indian boy. Well, it's just about anything organic. All right, causes and implications. So climate change is caused by greenhouse gases, specifically CO2 or carbon dioxide. You can do CO2. It's short, it's sweet, won't make spelling mistakes. It's good. Warmer weather can cause extreme weather patterns. Ice caps could melt. Hey, bad news, everybody. When we wrote this a few years ago, we did not know that that would actually be happening a few years later. It is, like I just mentioned. Ice caps are melting, and famine could occur. Northern Canada may become a beneficiary. As far as food production is concerned, it could become a more productive place for farming. Now, this exam is a few years old, and I'll let you in on a little secret. There are new farmlands now in Northern Canada. So, literally the future being predicted. A big negative is that the melting permafrost contains a lot of carbon, which will be released if the ice caps melt. Now, I hope everybody's realizing that the questions here, the summaries and the sentences, they aren't the same as what the lecturer was saying. They're slightly paraphrased, so they're a little bit different, the wording, right? Okay. So who is going to change? People who think each person is responsible for themselves believe that small steps such as using energy efficient what? By the way, everybody, I hope you're doing this. A couple of years ago now, I changed all my light bulbs to LEDs, and I have definitely saved money. So even though the LED light was slightly more expensive, I hope nobody's using those old incandescent light bulbs anymore. They're completely useless, right? Light bulbs is one word, everybody. Yeah, the LED lights will save you money. So make sure you change if you have the old light bulbs. First of all, the old light bulbs are hot. They're burn hazard. They can light a fire, and they're actually costing you more money. Okay, you think you're saving money by buying them at the store for less money, but you're really not. The LED lights are definitely cheaper. Anna says, I wrote about the effect of light bulbs in my PhD dissertation. Right. Light bulbs is one word, everybody. One word. Okay. Governments from developing nations want developed countries to pay them for causing such environmental damage. Economics. This was a tricky one. I'm not sure who got it. 36. The what? Anybody? The invisible hand of supply and demand. This was a tricky one. Invisible hand of supply and demand has been in charge of economics for a long time. It means that that's how we function, right? When there's a demand, there's a need. Like iPhone 16, then they make millions of them. If nobody wants to buy it, they won't make it. The invisible hand of supply and demand. Okay. Economists wonder when consumer demand for environmental products will surpass products that pollute. One solution to this problem is to institute a true cost tax. True cost tax, right? On each purchase which is deemed to be environmentally unfriendly. This would provide an economic, number 38, starts with a P. Now, this actually makes sense. Yeah, exactly, SK. Even if you didn't really get this, you can kind of guess this one if you know the word. Economic pressure. Right? Good work. Good work. to buy environmentally friendly products. Okay, conclusion. Climate change is going to change our way of life. Who will pay for the necessary changes in our consumption patterns? With the growing demand for environmentally friendly goods, it is arguably something which can best answer this question. It is arguably number 39. Businesses, right? Which can best answer this question. It is apparent, however, that we all have a responsibility. You can't do everyone because it's everyone has, strangely. So it has to be we all, because you have to pay attention to this word here, the have. Okay. So you have to have we all. Okay, true cost. How did you do, everybody? So what did you get? What did you get from 40? What was your score out of 40? I'm asking out of 40 because I think a lot of you were here last week, so I'm curious what you got. Fatima says I got 7 plus 8 out of 20, which would be 15 out of 20. It's not bad. It's not bad for that. Anna says 31 out of 40. Students, on the website, at the very bottom, we have a score calculator. So if, like Anna, you got 31, and then it will tell you that that's a band 7. Okay? If you got 38, like Roshni, then that's an 8.5. Okay? SK got 32. That's a 7.5. All right. If you get 32 on the academic reading, that's a 7. Interesting, isn't it? Okay. So reading and listening are marked differently. Okay. All right. And again, you can join the full course by clicking this big red button there. Boom. Click it. And you're good to go. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. You can enter the code REACH9 to get a 10% discount, everybody. So that's how it works. Tomorrow we're going to do speaking, everyone. And this is aehelp.com here. You can click that big red button to join the premium version. Then you'll get all of our exams, listening, audio. We have audio for the reading section to help you as well. So lots and lots of help there. Students, that's it for today's listening class. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. I did. I had lots of fun. Tomorrow, it's speaking. We'll use Zoom to interact with students. Again, the websites are aehelp.com and gieltshelp.com. Make sure to check that out. Premium students get extra classes every week. 2 of them. Okay. Anna says, next week it will be my 1 year of membership. You'll get a new little emoji or badge, I should say. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day and see you tomorrow. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful British Columbia, the western part of. Capital City, Victoria. Much love to all of you. Bye for now.